98.3 The Vibe Special Edition I.M.A.G.E TV Podcast, Early Morning Show, episode number 14. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in. Those of you joining us by 98.3 The Vibe, 9 o'clock a.m., early in the morning, Sunday morning. Those of you joining us by YouTube, we want to tell you to continue to keep us updated. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your cousins. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to dedicate episode number 14 to my beloved cousin, Freddie Windsor. Right now, Freddie is currently fighting for his life, and we send the prayers up. We have Robert Presswood as one of our guests in the studio this morning, and we have Courtney Perry as well. And we are all sending prayers to Freddie Windsor right now. We dedicate this to him. He is a lovely cousin. He's a good man and just a great person. And there's just not enough goodness that I can say about him. So one of the things that Freddie always would want is for people to be positive and happy and not sad and depressed. So we've got Robert Presswood, the owner of Platinum Cuts Barbershop, Platinum Signature, and a whole lot more. And then we've got Courtney Perry with us again. Let me first of all start off with Courtney Perry. Now, last week we talked about this major event, this expo. And so due to the coronavirus and due to the pandemic, there has been a cancellation. Is that right, Courtney?
That is correct. Due to the new stipulations that Governor Reynolds put in with 15 people per room, we have decided to postpone for the safety and wellness of everybody until March 20th and 21st. Is when we will move that to. We know you guys were all excited. Our vendors are all the same. People will still keep their tickets. So we'll see you in March.
So the vendors that have already purchased tickets will still be able to use them in March.
Yes, they will still be able to use them in March. We have the same vendors that are going to be staying, and we've got even more vendors still wanting to get in. So it's going to be big.
Okay, and for those vendors that are coming, and for the people that have purchased their tickets, when will you come out with the date of the expo?
The date of the expo is March 20th and 21st. Okay. We may have changed the location, but we have secured those two dates to get the postpone done.
All right. Now, let's move over to our hot topic of the morning, Robert Presswood. Robert, you're doing a lot of big things in Des Moines, Iowa. First started off with Platinum Cuts Barbershop. Then you moved to Platinum Signature in West Des Moines. Now you have a new restaurant coming out. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a food truck. Turkey Leg Kings.
Turkey Leg Kings. Wow, what a name, Rob. So tell us, first of all, take us back a little bit into your vision, and when did you become a barber, and what inspired you to become a barber?
What inspired me was, I grew up in Fort Dodge where we didn't have a barbershop. So, with my brothers and them, we was able to cut our own hair, and, my dad gave me a pair of clippers, and then, I fell in love with the clippers, to where it became a passion of mine. And, I was able to use that as a gift and, create an opportunity for myself.
Well, I must say, Rob, you have a very good eye for the heads that you cut. I mean, it shows. And I could even look at my head. You cut my hair today, and it looks great.
Got a nice cut there. Got a nice cut there.
But I've noticed that every hair that you cut is nice, And so, most barbers are good because of certain things. What would you say creates your art and talent and makes you stand alone?
I'm an artist by trade, so that was my first skill. So being able to have that skill allows me to, transition it into cutting.
Okay. Now, Rob, being born and raised in Fort Dodge and then coming to Des Moines, would you say that getting out of Fort Dodge was something that you needed to do to be successful?
Of course. The time when I was there, it was drug infested. There was drugs on every block, and that was the way of life. It was just, that was part of the culture.
Now, Rob, I know that you actually didn't go to prison, but you did grow up in training schools and disciplinary schools and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Bob, I had my multiple places where I was locked down, and it was enough to where I made a choice to where I didn't want to transition that when I turned 18 and not put myself in that situation where my brothers went to prison. And I just told myself I didn't want to go that route.
That's great. Now, so you started Platinum Cuts Barbershop. What inspired you to start Platinum Signature Barbershop?
Well, Platinum Cuts on 23rd and University, we can only hold so many barbers, so I was getting a lot of calls, like, for to work. A lot of barbers was reaching out to me to, wanted to be a part of the team, and I didn't have the room for the barbers. So then the other thing was we were getting so many different cultures of people, and I mean from unprofessional to professional. Like we might have the judge in there, and then the judge might be in there, the person who he just sent to prison, So it was just kind of becoming more like a conflict of customers,
Sure.
Like, so Platinum Signature was more kind of like an upscale version of, just catering to more of an upscale clientele, and that's why I created the bar and just an environment where I could really focus on that client. And the barbershop on 23rd was more for the community. Like it's a spot where people come and gather. We had good conversation, good. It's a good vibe, and people like that. And I didn't want to take away from that because that's what that shop was built on. But as I grew too. So, the things I used to do aloud when I was at the age of 22, I'm 43. So, my conversation is different. I mean? The laughing and giggling and all that, like I want my client to experience, have this experience in my chair. So
that's great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into 98.3 The Vibe Special Edition. We've got Robert Presswood in the house with us. We've got Courtney Perry in the house with us. We'll be back on the Image Show after these messages. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on the Image Show, 98.3 The Vibe Special Edition, Image TV Podcast, episode number 14, dedicated to my beloved cousin, Freddie Windsor. That's right, Freddie, this is your day. Courtney Perry.
What's up?
Okay, so we've got this expo canceled and postponed. And you girls have come together. Robert Presswood as well.
Yeah.
And, Robert, right. Now, let me ask you something. Was the thought of this expo that you came up with, did that thought trigger from the expo that Big Rob had? Because, that expo rocked everybody's socks by surprise out at Prairie Meadows.
With the help of Courtney.
With the help of Courtney? Courtney was involved in that?
Yes, she was.
Yes.
Well, then I know where she got the idea from. I don't know why I asked her that question.
Yes. Clash of the Clippers. I am on the Clash of the Clippers team. We have a ball every year. I'm so excited for 2021. Big things coming. Our expo, we, like Miss Stephanie said before, we just want to give back to our community and those who have birthed their entrepreneurship and get everybody out there and let them know this is the world. Go get your money. Go get it.
All right. Rob, so see, you've been very inspiring throughout this community, and I don't even think you really know it. I mean, you have people that were inspired by that Clash of the Clippers Expo that you had, and I remember doing a lot of advertisement for that for you, and there was a lot of people that showed up, and not only that, but it was out at Prairie Meadows. It was in such a great environment, an unusual environment that wasn't used to just going there for events in Des Moines. And so when you did that, I think that kind of started something. And now you see, Courtney has, got the idea. She's branched off on her own with a bunch of young ladies and started their own expo. You see, this is what keeps our community functioning in a positive direction.
Yes.
So, Rob, tell us, what trickles through your mind when you come up with these ideas?
Visions. bringing it to life. Like I said, it's just my passion to like bring my vision, my dream into reality and like making it happen, just putting it to work, Bob.
I understand. I am a visionary as well. And so I completely understand and I respect you for that. I think that, that there's going to be more to come as time goes on. So you've got this new food truck coming, right?
Right. And the food truck came through, the food came, when we got shut down with the pandemic. And I always did the little catering, even when we did events up in like the Fort Dodge, it kind of started from way back then. Then I just kind of stopped doing it and, got into more of the hair shows.
Okay. All right. And so I know the people back in Fort Dodge are very proud of you. I know a lot of your family members. I also know, your cousin, Jeremy Gully, Tap.
Yes.
I work out with him in the morning at the YMCA, and there's just a glow in his face every morning that he comes to work out. He's excited about going to work at Platinum Cuts. He's excited about the opportunity that he has now to make more money at Platinum Cuts, and, he gives that credit to you. And so, how does it feel to be able to give back to your own family?
It's a blessing. We call Jeremy Tap Money. So to see Tap Money be called Jeremy is a blessing. And, I was just talking to him the other day and I just told him, I said, you have grown, like I can see the change in you. You're like real humble and, sometimes you got to go through things in life, in order to make a change, and better yourself. Yeah.
What do you guys think about this pandemic now? I mean, the world is crazy right now, isn't it?
How I feel about the
Put it on! Put it on! How hard is this? Put the mask on. I don't have mine on in here because it's hot.
Right.
But I put my mask on when I go outside.
Right.
Right.
It was scary at first,
It's still scary. Actually, it's scarier now than it's ever been.
Yeah, because you're in the colder season, the flu season. So it's scary all the way around. Nobody is exempt. You could have it and don't have no symptoms. You can get tested and they tell you negative. They can call you back, say you was positive. Right. I mean, I don't know. Just take care of yourself. I mean, that's all you can really do. Take your vitamins, get some Emergent, make sure you got your meds on hand. Wear your face mask. Wear it. Put it on.
That's right. That's right. And would you guys say that the times that we're living in now are probably the most scariest times that you've ever experienced? Or no?
I'd say it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm not gonna say it's my worst, but it's very challenging.
Very challenging.
I'll say that it's very challenging.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, everything's shutting down. You know, you look. I live downtown, and I see just a ghost town at night. Sometimes even on the weekends.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that stuff's just not normal in Des Moines. I mean,
Right.
you know, it shuts the flow of finance down. However, there are still a lot of jobs out there for people that are looking for jobs. You know, Rob, are you hiring at Platinum Cuts?
Yes, I am.
Are you?
Platinum Signature.
Platinum Signature?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it. Right now, Robert Presswood is hiring at Platinum Signature. So how do they go about applying, Rob?
They can inbox me. You can reach me at 515-771-4411.
Okay. 515-771-4411. Is that correct, Rob?
That is correct, Bob.
All right. And so tell us a little bit more now. I want to learn a little bit more about your story, Rob, in coming from Fort Dodge, Iowa, and then coming to Des Moines, owning these barbershop businesses, competing with the other Des Moines natives. Do you ever catch a lot of flack from that? Or has it just been a lot of love and camaraderie?
Man, it's been a lot of love. I'm thankful. I'm honored. You know what I mean? And you know what, Bob? I've been down here pretty much pretty much living down here more than my life. You know, than Fort Dodge. You know, I left Fort Dodge when I was...
Been pretty much living down here what? I'm sorry.
I've been living down here longer than Fort Dodge.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been living in Des Moines longer than you've been living in Fort Dodge.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So you would probably consider Des Moines more of your home.
I graduated at Roosevelt. You know I'm a Rough Rider, right?
No, I didn't know that, Rob.
Yeah.
When did you go there? 12th grade?
We beat Johnson.
You beat Johnston.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Rob. Wait, what year was that?
I was 90. I was supposed to graduate in 96, but it was 97 when I graduated.
Oh, okay. And you beat Johnston that year.
Wrestling, we beat him in track, basketball.
Okay, all right.
We're
Well,
about to
hey,
get
I don't
into
think
a
we played
whole
y'all
athletic
football.
discussion.
Yeah.
Johnston can be beat. I'm a Johnston Dragon alum from the heart.
I know. I'm a Rough Rider.
You're a Rough Rider from 12th grade.
But
Rob.
throw them
That's a
Huskies
big
in
deal.
there.
I went there.
Huskies. I didn't graduate from there, but I went
You gotta
there.
remember, I dropped out, so I got to go back and be a 2-year senior.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
At least you graduated. That's all that matters.
Maybe
Dropped
that's
out,
what
so-
led to this success. Is going around everywhere.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
You had to figure it out before you could get it right.
Bob, I went to like 5 different high schools. That's how much I was moving around in my younger years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. 5 different high schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into 98.3 The Vibe Special Edition, I.M.A.G.E TV Podcast, episode number
14.
14. And we have dedicated episode 14 to Freddie Windsor, my dearly beloved cousin. We'll be back after these messages. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, on the I.M.A.G.E Show, 98.3 The Vibe, early morning show, I.M.A.G.E TV podcast. Thank you for joining in to the show this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we dedicate this show to Freddie Windsor, episode 14, my beloved cousin. Now, we have a lot of people that are sitting in the county jail right now. We had a lot of different drug raids that took place over the last few days. And there's people in there that are really needing our prayers. And so for those of you right now listening in the county jail, for those of you in Mitchellville, in Newton, we want to let you know that we continuously pray for you. The Image for Lives program continuously lifts you up in prayer. We care about you. Just because you're locked up doesn't mean that you're locked out, okay? It just means that you're being isolated for a minute and you have more time to get yourself together. It means that you have more time to open your Bible and read it and concentrate. It means that you have more time to get your body and your health together. Now, I know that it's tough sitting in prison. I did 11 consecutive years for nonviolent drug convictions, and watching those seasons and calendars and, winters and Christmases go by, and you feel like there's just no hope. For those of you with maybe, charges that seem like they're just so ridiculous, there's no way that you can get over them. It seems like there's no road at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, God is in every aspect of your life right now. If you would just tune in and allow him to be a blessing to you. This is not over with, okay? Rob, if you had something encouraging to say, Courtney, if you had something encouraging to say again to the people out there that are being detained, for the people out there that are locked up, for the people that are being warehoused, what would it be?
Well, I would say just reset, unplug, and, just come up with a plan. We don't live in a perfect world. Everybody deserves a second chance, I go to church I try to go to church every Sunday, and ask God to forgive me for my sins. So, if we could ask, pray and ask God to forgive us for sins when people when there's nobody watching and seeing what you're doing behind the scenes and stuff like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is just, put God first, because at the end of the day, he has the last call.
Amen. And it seems like we take life for granted. We take our freedom for granted sometimes, For a lot of us, being brought up in the streets, whether it be the streets of Des Moines, the streets of Fort Dodge, streets of Chicago, it doesn't matter. If you were brought up doing things that you weren't supposed to do, but you just kind of did it, it became a hobby, and you got away with it, and then all of a sudden you got to face these consequences for it, dealing with the police and the law. These things are kind of hard to relate to and to adapt to. And so, first and foremost, we want to encourage you guys to do right. Don't sell drugs. Don't get out there and commit all these different crimes. But if you do, at least understand what you're doing. Understand the time, the sentencing guidelines that come with it. This is one thing that I didn't understand, Courtney. When I was out there selling drugs, I didn't realize the time that came with it. I didn't realize the sentencing guidelines. I didn't realize all the other stuff that came along with this. And then when it came time for me to go to jail and sit in prison and look at all these charges and deal and face all this stuff, I was completely shocked because I was facing all this time and I had no clue as far as,
right.
to what I was doing.
Right.
So, Rob, I know that you work in an establishment around a lot of guys that go to jail, come in and out of jail, guys that are businessmen. You work with all aspects of life, characters. And so it gives you the perfect opportunity to be able to be that role model. And I know that you have been that role model to a lot of people.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I just try to lead by example. And, I had my struggles too, even though I didn't go to prison, I had a drinking problem and, even people out here that have titles and image and people that we look up to, you just don't never know what is somebody's going through.
Nobody in this world is perfect.
Yeah. And I guess what I'm saying is that, you just got to get back to loving yourself, and when you do that, you start filling your cup up and like that little kid at one time where you didn't have no worries, you just loving life, you wasn't allowing yourself to put yourself in danger,
Sure. I think that one of the major problems is that people coming out of incarceration or coming out of prison or institutions, once they try to get their life back on track, the financial burden overwhelms them. You know, you have to be able to make a decent amount of money to survive out here. Right. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, even for a woman,
yeah.
Courtney, would you say that it's not easy?
No.
You know, and you haven't even been to prison.
Right. Not at all. But as a woman and being a black woman, we have to work 10 times harder.
Okay. Now, Rob, with you being the entrepreneur and owner of Platinum Cuts and the barbershops, would you say that just having that job, being able to wake up every morning and have that job to go to, that made a huge difference? I mean, I think that if people had jobs that they could actually survive on, you know, there wouldn't be as much crime.
Right. And I realized that at a young age where I knew I had to create an opportunity for myself, because I get it, you know, like I applied for 100 applications and got rejected, and don't nobody like to get rejected. So, you know, when you get rejected, you know, you felt like you didn't went to every angle and, you know, you didn't tried everything and it didn't work. And, you know, it just put you in a position where I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where, you know, God came in my life, and, you know, I just kind of stuck with my plan and told myself I'm going to get through it. Even the times where, you know, I had my friends, family laughing at me, you know, and, you know, because we all have an image, you know, and, you know, we're people pleasers. Did nobody teach us how to be successful? You know, we just know how to survive, you know, and that's what we was taught. But, you know, I just, you know, always in the back of my head, Bob, I always told myself I'm not going to allow myself to go down that lane. So I just, you know, I knew without struggle there would be no success.
Right. Well, it's the sacrifice that we have to.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to endure that sacrifice, that humility. Yeah. I mean, it's not fun getting up early in the morning. No. You know, waking up out of your sleep.
No.
To have to go start your car and warm it up. Might be cold. You might not have any heat or whatever the case may be. You know.
Right.
And to try to still function and move through this stuff it's just hard. It's tough. And so I always try to encourage people not to give up, because this whole journey through life, you know, it doesn't stop. And everybody has their own struggles. Like Courtney said, as a black female, she has to strive 10 times harder.
Right.
You know, we don't know what those struggles are because we're males.
And I think it really gets down to a point. It's like, what do you really want? You know, and what's stopping you from having it? You know, and once you figure that out, you'll get to a point to be like, you know, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna, you know, whatever you got to do, pray about it, manifest it, and just take one day at a time and start working at your goal. You know,
right. Well, this is why I talk about the support, is because, you know, both of you guys are supporters to your community. Courtney, your friends and your business partners, your ladies, how you guys come together. Rob, you know, your employees. I mean, everyone working on all them different chairs and booths, and, you know, you guys are all coming together. You know, you're the support for those people. And these people coming out of prison, they need that kind of support. It might not be that particular kind of support, but they need people that they can go to just maybe talk to, not necessarily to give them any money. You know, you might have to give them a few bucks here and there, but it might just be to point them in the right direction, you know, just to keep them going until they fight. It's like a kid riding a bike. Once they start pedaling and get going and move past, you know, them first few steps, then they can just keep going. This is what I found out that most people are needing coming out of prison.
Step.
Yeah. And so, you know, I think that you particularly, Rob, in the environment that you work in, I want to encourage you and inspire you to be more of that role model, of that support. Well, you already are that role model, but I mean more of that supporter, and help point these guys in the right direction. Just like you say, just like you did with Tap Money.
Right.
I mean, he was used to getting his money on the streets. Now he's working every single day. I mean, he's working out every day. I mean, he's just inspired, This is what life's about to me. That's a victory in my eyes.
But also, too, when you are supporting somebody, that person that you supported needs to pay that forward and give that back to the next person, too. It's a chain. It's a domino effect. As long as everybody continues to keep supporting the next person, then that's how we can all get better. You don't stop at where you're at. The knowledge that you were given was not supposed to just be housed with you. You're supposed to give that to the next person. Give it to the kids. Because they're our future.
That's right.
So just keep on going.
And
don't stop.
And we all got a gift. You know what I mean?
Everybody has
a gift.
You just got to find it.
And when you find that gift that God gave you and you use it and you share it to the world, that's where you really get your blessings.
All right.
I agree. I completely agree.
Those you see who are successful moving around, it's because they have put in the work, they put in the dedication. Right. There's been times where they've cried and wanted to give up. Yep. I definitely agree with that one. Did that plenty of times. But it's the drive and the passion that you have to know that you never want to go back to where you were at.
And being a barber has really changed my life. It has opened up other opportunities for me, and it's just about finding what you love to do. There's plenty of trades you could get into where you can start your own career, your own business, where it only take about a year of and some of them don't even offer that much time. Right, Bob?
I
mean,
and there's never anything that not something that you shouldn't do. Did I say that right? Does that make sense? If you think it's a dumb idea, it's probably the greatest idea in the world. Right. Just go for it. Try it. You'll never know if you let you try.
That's real talk.
That's it.
And since the pandemic, it's been plenty of opportunities.
Man,
it's really
they gave out free classes.
It's really a come up. You know what I mean? Like, really, it was a time for us to really think, and I just seen so many opportunities.
Right. Hey, this is great. Now, see, this is the type of gel that I was looking for. Right here, we finally found it. It took us toward the end of the show to get there, but we got there.
we had to come out of our shell.
Yeah. We got it, though. We got it.
Making us nervous, Bob.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned into 98.3 The Vibe, Special Edition, I.M.A.G.E TV Podcast. You're locked and loaded into nothing but love. Isn't that correct?
How you do that? Love.
Nothing but love. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to another wonderful episode on your number one re-entry show in the country, the I.M.A.G.E Show on the I.M.A.G.E TV Podcast. We're about out of time for this week, but we've got another great show coming up next week. So we want to say thank you once again. Stay safe out there throughout this pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, tell them, Courtney, put the mask on. Put the mask on. Put it on.
Bob over here coughing.
Put the mask on.
Got to put my mask on, see? Got to get my social distancing. Social distancing.
And as we say, after episodes, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Peace.
Y'all stay safe.